7 combined NIT appearances meet in round 2, and the stakes have just gone up as the Marquette Golden Eagles today host the Oregon Ducks. And why did the stakes just go up? Playing here at cozy and crazy Al McGuire Center on the Marquette campus. Here's why. The #1 seed in this part of the bracket, Notre Dame, upset by Penn State, meaning the winner of this game will host Penn State for a chance to go to Madison Square Garden. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mitch Holtis along with Jason Capel. No fear to launch from these two teams.
When you're talking about two ball clubs, they love to get up and down, shoot a lot of three-point shots with great backcourts. But postseason play, stars can be born. And for the Oregon Ducks, Victor Bailey Jr., young man averaging about 5 points per game, coming into the Ryder contest, explodes for 23, knocked down 7 3-point shots, doesn't need a lot of time or space. His teammates find him, and the Golden Eagles must locate him in transition because he's a guy that can get hot in a hurry.
And yet Oregon has got to do the same. You see Dana Altman, his club, has got to guard a three-point crazy Marquette team. They got 3 guys, we'll talk about this, that have 309 combined makes, not attempts, makes. Playing at the Al on campus at the Al McGuire Center. Marquette normally plays up the street at the Bradley Center, but for the NIT, playing here at the Al, and why not? This place was crazy on Wednesday night with a win over Harvard. It's even more so today. Game on here in the NIT.
Marquette starting out in their man-to-man. Coach Wojciechowski told me they have to defend the paint and then close out to the outside shooters.
6 to shoot, and a really nice take by Peyton Pritchard. He was the one holder over Jason. I don't think any team in the country lost more than Oregon from that Final Four Duck team from a year ago. But the one conduit to last year's team is Peyton Pritchard.
The Ducks lost 3 guys to the pros, but Pritchard, that's a good guy to have back to lead your program. He does all the little things for this ball club, averaging 14 points per game, facilitates.
And you're talking about Wojo defensively on Oregon. What does Oregon do defensively to Marquette?
Well, the issue that the Golden Eagles are going to see, the Ducks change their defense throughout the contest. You'll see matchup zones, some man-to-man, and obviously an importance to defend the three-point shot. Nice job that possession.
It was a knuckleball that backspun off the back iron, but rebounded nicely by Paul White. The Georgetown transferred, and Pritchard's off to a great start for the Ducks.
With 2 of the keys to the game for Marquette, keeping the Ducks out of the paint. Did not do that first possession, gave up a layup late into the shot clock, and rebounding the basketball, giving up a second chance opportunity there.
Howard missed his first. You know the second one was going in. Crazy good. Last year, he led the nation, Jason, at 57%. He's made 106 triples this year.
This kid's a natural-born scorer. That's a sharpshooter. When he steps in the gym, he's in his range.
And Steve Wojciechowski, Wojo, the great Duke guard, building it here. Last year, it took the Golden Eagles to the NCAA tournament. Really close this year. Jason, they swept Creighton. They swept Seton Hall. They won at Providence. They were really close.
Very close, but they still have a chance to play for a championship and great guard play. We've talked about the three-point prowess, and you're seeing it early. Howard and Rousey, guys that can fill it up, who have unlimited range, and the ultra green like to shoot it at any time.
Rousey 114 made threes. McIntosh gets an and one up. I'm going to say on the floor before the attempt. And let's go back to Andrew Rousey finding it.
He's a guy that loves to shoot the ball in transition. You see how quickly he finds his feet. 1-2 step, shoulder square, eyes locked. He's one of the best shooters in all of college basketball.
McIntosh defended on his drive. And here's your crazy three-point shooters.
You can't leave the basketball. If you leave the basketball with 30 or 0 in blue, they're going to make you pay. The Ducks got lucky there, and a great push in transition. Peyton Pritchard. This Oregon team is not going to walk the ball up. They're going to look to attack early.
And Marquette won't walk it up either. Sakar Anam, who was good the other night against Harvard.
This is going to be fun, partner. High-octane offenses looking to attack early. This is fun.
Pritchard has all 7 Oregon points. He likes the Big East. He had a career-high 29 against DePaul. Anam sneaks inside to get his second consecutive bucket, the redshirt freshman.
The Oregon Duck bench exploded on that last possession, feeling that their player was fouled underneath, but you got to play on, play through. Great find there. You see how spaced out the Ducks have the defense of Marquette. You move the basketball, have your head up, you're going to find an open teammate. Easy to inside.
And so much for the NIT not counting. Don't bring that up to the 4,000 in here, or the 10 guys on the floor, or the 10 guys waiting to play in these 2 coaches.
Oh, it's rocking in this place. A great venue back at the Owl. These players have their sights set on winning a championship. We have some good basketball here in this first quarter.
And they know hosting a game is also next for the winner of this game. Now here we go, the rules differences, the experimental rules in the NIT. And Jason, what do you see here and what do you like about it?
Well, the 4 quarters, I like that. And every other level of basketball, that's what you do. The free throw, that to me is the biggest thing. You talk about fouls and the free throws, it really takes away being in the last 5 minutes of a game. You could be in the bonus with so much time to go. With the fouls resetting after each quarter, it takes that out of play. I like the resetting of the shot clock to 20 instead of 30. The three-point line, let's be honest, these guys aren't towing the line anymore. Their ability to knock down threes has expanded, and widening the lane allows more movement, guys to move around and have space to attack.
Let's go back to again, each quarter there has to be 5 fouls, and the only bonus is a 2-shot. There is no 1-and-1. So it's very similar to the NBA, and the women's game uses it. But Jason, it's like playing Mariano Rivera when he was with the Yankees, and there's a stuffed Theo John finishing. If you're chasing with 5 minutes to go with these rules, you're in big trouble. It's like Wade Davis closing games in Major League Baseball.
Absolutely. It takes away the ability to finish games at the foul line if you get yourself into the bonus with extra time to go in the half. Marquette having their way offensively. Sam Hauser, the Swiss Army knife for this ball club. You leave the basketball, he attacks, his head is up. A great find inside. Such an unselfish team. Leads to an easy opportunity for Theo John. And any points you get off the bench for Marquette are bonuses as we move to 5 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Great drive by Mikhail McIntosh, the Illinois State transfer. He was good for the Illinois State Redbirds. In fact, it was this round a year ago. McIntosh had a late foul when he played for Illinois State that allowed UCF to win a game, or Illinois State would have hosted Illinois to go to the Garden. His graduate transfer year here at Oregon. And Dana Altman was telling me he has been the big difference, particularly late in the Pac-12 tournament for sure, for Oregon, ending up with a 23-win season, even though they lost so many good players.
What a luxury to bring in a guy. I mean, you look at him, he's a man. He's an older player. He can step in and produce and do all the little things for you right away. And he's done just that this year, an imposing presence who's done an excellent job helping bridge the gap between the 3 players they lost to the pros and having yet another 20-win season for Coach Altman.
And another one of the plethora of Canadians impacting the Division I college game. Rousey on the press break. It's almost better if he pulls up for 3.
Well, it's a 2-on-1. You have to get something out of that. Rousey had his mind made up. He was letting it fly. Good defensive stance there.
As I said,
Martin, you were right. He was too close the last time.
They were working on press break this morning, and instead of going to the rack, they're running to the corners and shooting threes.
Pace and space. When you have guys that can knock down shots from distance, it's the great equalizer in all of basketball, the three-point shot.
Again, Rousey. 115 made threes. And great defense by Greg Elliott. Steps out.
Well, the scouting report has changed on Victor Bailey. You close out, you block the shot. Marquette up 4, the Owl on their feet.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NIT is brought to you by AT&T Small Business. Discover the power of and Bayer Aspirin. Learn more at BayerAspirin.com.
Marquette off to a great start. They're finding open threes.
And they're attacking the pressure. 13 fast break points. Coach Wojo talked about not worrying about what defense that the Ducks are in. Attack whatever you see in front of you. 3 for 5 already from distance. Attacking early. 5 assists on 6 made field goals. A balanced attack led by Rousey, knocking down a pair from distance already in this first quarter.
And who can find cracks in the cement and jackhammer? 3 Oregon turnovers, 8 points off those turns for Marquette, and now good defense by the Golden Eagles. This was the problem with Wojo's team defensively. They were last in the Big East. Jason giving up 79 points a game. Harvard only had 60 the other night, but they did have 20 of the 60 in the fourth quarter.
And nice job there out of the timeout, changing the defense against a short shot clock. Going to the zone, giving that curveball. And offensively, you see multiple players now doing the job. Freshman Elliott gets downhill, his footprints in the paint. Nice little crafty floater in the lane.
Bonus 2 from Elliott, a high-scoring phenom in Detroit, but only averaging 4 a game for Marquette, wearing their powder blue, championship blue they call it, commemorating the 1977 National Championship, and now Wooten fouls Rousey on a 3.
And just in case you weren't aware, Rousey from his back counts it out for you. When he uses a screen, it's not good enough to point or be late. You have to be connected with a high hand, force him to attack off the dribble. This young man, quite a player. Short career here at Marquette, has already gone over 1,000 points. What a player, what a shooter, proving size does not matter when you have an elite skill and a big heart to carry and compete in any contest.
Jason, he's only one of 5 players in NCAA college basketball history to have 1,000 points at 2 different schools. You saw him at UNC Asheville and was a 1,000-point scorer there before coming here. And now an N1 opportunity for Georgetown transfer Paul White in Oregon.
That's a great answer there by the Ducks. Continuing to try to attack, get downhill. If they're able to get in the paint, you put the defense in rotation, and now you can get high percentage shots. White did a nice job, had his heels on the baseline, simply ready to receive that basketball in one motion and power to the hoop through contact.
White close to home, played at Whitney Young High School in Chicago, and they've had, of course, lots of players. Jaleel Okafor coming out of that program, and others. Division I programs littered with a whole bunch of Whitney Young graduates. Oregon needed those 3. They just leave Rousey alone. These are like layups for him.
Mitch, you can't backpedal. You have to force him to drive the basketball. If you play on your heels while defending 30 in blue, it's simply not good enough. In a great rhythm already in this early contest.
Rousey had 35 earlier this year against Georgetown. He had 41 when he was at Asheville in a game.
And the screen is set, allowing him to attack, but you have to understand scouting report. He wants to rock you into a jump shot. You have to be up on it, run him off that three-point line, make him prove that he can finish in the lane over bigger defenders.
Pritchard with the straight line drive, Bailey, and Rousey fouls on the 3-point attempt. Rousey begs to differ, his first foul, and now that puts Marquette over the limit in this first quarter.
And Mitch, the issue there was Rousey's closing out to a left-handed player. So typically if you're right-handed, you're closing out the right way, trying to fly by. But Bailey is a lefty. And so he did take the hit. Only 1 second on the shot clock, something you simply cannot do. Bailey able to knock down the first of three.
Bailey from great family background. And we'll tell you after this, catch every moment of the 2018 NCAA Women's Championship on the ESPN family of networks. For more information, visit NCAA.com. You're home for all 90 NCAA championships. In fact, the Oregon women will play tonight on ESPN2. And Bailey, whose mother, Tanya Buford Bailey, one of the great Olympic athletes in history, and his dad played in the NFL as a wide receiver.
Great genes, and this young man stepped on the stage ready to play. 23 points against Ryder at home. You see now he's getting significant minutes here on the road.
You know, you're surprised when these guys miss a three. I mean, they're so good, right around 50 from three with the high-volume shooters, that when they miss, you shake your head like it didn't go in instead of the other way. Again, defense by Marquette, and now a double fault into the net, if you will, just off the hand of Jamal Cain.
Partner, you said it earlier. The NIT is about which team wants to bring the energy ready to play. And when you take a look at these coaches, they're locked in, understanding they're building for something even bigger. But an opportunity to play for a championship is right in front of all of these players. They're fighting for every inch here in this first half.
Three to shoot. And again, Marquette locks down.
We've talked a lot about the Marquette offense, and rightfully so. But it's because what their defense is doing, connected, communicating, staying down, forcing the Ducks into deep shot clocks each possession, and then doing the job finishing that defensive possession with a rebound.
Great inbounds play, and again, Howard just missing. Great job by Matt Helt inside. Another chance. And a cash in by Jamal Cain.
Mitch, isn't that how it happens all the time? If you give teams extra opportunities on the offensive end, they're going to make you pay by knocking down three-point shots from offensive rebounds.
And this is the Marquette that swept Creighton, swept Seton Hall, and won at Providence. But how about Matt Helt working the boards?
He's a one-man wrecking crew inside. You see one blue jersey surrounded by the green jerseys, simply outworking the front line of Oregon, keeping the ball alive. And Cain, when the ball touched his hands, he was locked, ready to shoot. And Cain and Elliott, two freshmen that turned their ankles in their last contest here against Harvard. They've been in boots since that game, trying to take the pressure to be ready to play. And both have already stepped up and produced early in this first quarter.
You don't want to foul either one of these teams. Marquette, third in the nation in free throw shooting. Oregon led the Pac-12 in the same category. And Marquette over the limit in this first quarter, meaning 2 shots for White. They'll reset everything as we begin the second quarter, team foul-wise. But still a minute from that. 16 in the first quarter.
Mr. Rousey, I'm laughing and smiling right along with you. The spin, and then he spun back to find your feet and square your shoulders and shoot that ball with such confidence. That's elite.
Nothing easy for Oregon, and a foul on White. How about Andrew Rousey?
Special player, individual talent, the shot fake, the spin. For shooters, the most important thing, find your feet, square your shoulders, leave it in the cookie jar. This young man is a special talent with an elite skill of shooting the basketball, and it's been on full display here in this first 10 minutes.
I mean this is a compliment to him. Because you look at him and you think you ought to be in a Harry Potter movie. And then he comes out here. He's got 16 in the first quarter, Jason.
Well, he's been a wizard in this first quarter, to say the least.
Hauser, and he gets, no, they're going to wave it off and say an offensive foul on Sam Hauser. And Wojo telling his team about the clock, just 3.4 to go in the first quarter. How about a 30-point first quarter from Marquette and a 16-point, 16 of the 30 from Rousey. He's hit 5 threes in this quarter. It is Andrew Rousey leading the way, and Marquette, they're tracking to score 120. Three-point crazy Marquette and Andrew Rousey.
Marquette has knocked down 7, but number 30 has 5 of his own. If you don't pick him up across half court, he will make you pay. Stay off your heels because he wants to rise up. And for good measure, Mitch, he's showing us his dance moves as well. There, the spin cycle, feet set, eyes locked, knocks it down from 3. Wojo giving him a quick break here, and as hot as he's shooting that basketball, it's a good thing he has that towel draped over his shoulders because he needs to cool off. For Marquette fans, maybe not too much.
He ain't going to set long.
What a display in the first 10 minutes of this contest.
Mitch Holtis with you along with Jason Capel. Jason, 5 times he had 30 points or more this year for Marquette. He may have 30 by half. He had 16 at the end of the quarter, and Pritchard end-to-end lightning fast, but can't complete the drive. And Howard drifts, and they lose him. That's his second 3. They're going to say a 2, a toenail on the line for Howard. But Oregon needs to find these guys in Marquette's early offense.
Oregon needs to get into their offensive sets a little quicker. Talk about a deep 3.
Elijah Brown, the graduate transfer from New Mexico, was out there in Rousey range.
He was logo hunting. He shot that from the U. And tough shots by the Ducks, but Marquette getting high percentage shots.
Dana Altman calls timeout. He's got to figure this out. Marquette trying to run him out of the gym. Marquette, their 3-point marksman. Rousey with 5 from 3. Howard, they called it a 2. It may be a 3, but Oregon, they're losing these guys early on.
Well, what a luxury that you can give Rousey a rest, but Howard, the team's leading scorer, I don't know, partner. He looked beyond the 3-point line there, even with the extension. But Oregon does a nice job out of the timeout executing their offense. And you have to think, but Kyle McIntosh has to be a guy to step up and get things done.
Particularly on those straight line drives. Now it's going to be an offensive foul on Marcus Howard. That's an issue. It's his second. And Wojo's going to make a decision here with his other 3-point marksman.
Well, that's what you have to do. You run these guys off the 3-point line, make them play in traffic, and trust that your defense will rotate. Great job there, giving up of your body, taking that charge. And there's no home run play. If you're Oregon, you have to chip away, do the job defensively. Now on the offensive end, they must execute.
This is just all ISOs now for, they're going to say a walk now on McIntosh. Dane Altman didn't like the call, nor did McIntosh. Again, a high-volume player at Illinois State. He had 57 points for the Ducks in their Pac-12 tournament run.
You're right. They're isolating him on that elbow, giving him space and room to operate. You like the move, just has to keep his feet down. That would have been an easy 2 inside.
Well, they switch out on Rousey. Now they got a big and Paul White out on him. You better not leave to help. Helt, he had a big on little. Oregon switched it, and Marquette made him pay. Matt Helt over the smaller defender, and then one opportunity for Helt.
Matt Helt did the job creating the angle, but what an entry pass by Sam Hauser. This young man is playing through injury, giving everything he has. And what he has is a full package offensively. He can shoot it, he rebounds, great facilitator. Coach Wojciechowski calls him the brain of the team, and you see why right there. Your big is working for position. You throw the ball where all he has to do is simply catch, turn, through the contact, and finish a three-point play.
And Hauser's gotten through a hip injury that's bothered him really throughout the year. And there's another ISO for McIntosh, and a foul now on Jamal Cain. There's a look at Hauser. His brother's also here, Joey. Highly regarded high school player to Stevens Point, Wisconsin. He's going to have ankle. He's having ankle rehab, but both Hausers should be up and running next year, and that'll be a big help for Marquette.
Brother Joey already enrolled. As you said, partner, rehabbing that ankle injury. What a player he is, a top 50 player in the country. Troy Brown does an excellent job receiving that downstream. Rousey hit the deck. You're Oregon, you have to put together a string of stops trailing by 14 points.
Well, they run two at Rousey now.
And Bailey hit the deck. Ducks got lucky, but still unable to finish the play with the rebound. Kane throws it away.
With it. Rousey in the flow.
Now, is that a hockey assist? Because you had Elliott trying to give it up to Kane, a big man running in transition. It happens to find its way to Rousey's hands. That's exactly where you want it. That's how you draw it up.
And Rousey takes the charge on the other end.
Andrew Rousey, a senior that does not want his career to end. It's better to be lucky. Catches it, fills it up, bang, from three.
Marquette of the Big East leading Oregon to the Pac-12 here, 41-23, but some ACC flavor here. Wojo, he's got his own brand, but he's also a branch on a very big Coach K tree.
A very impressive tree as well. Mike Bray done an excellent job at Notre Dame. Played through injury this year. Bobby Hurley, an excellent season. Making it to the NCAA tournament. Johnny Dawkins doing the job at UCF. Chris Collins got Northwestern into the NCAA tournament a season ago. And Wojo, the job he's done here, rebuilding this program. You said it, partner. Marquette very closely could have made the NCAA tournament this year. But still a young team, and help is on the way with a great recruiting class. The future is bright here in Milwaukee.
Oregon goes to a little scramble defense. Dana Altman is so good at switching defenses, particularly out of timeouts. And he ran and jumped that time, but he didn't leave Rousey. It's like he had four guys running, but nobody leave Rousey, and it worked.
And that's what you want to do out of timeouts. If the team is hitting your fastball, you have to throw the curve and get them off their track and make Marquette have to think. And then offensively, continue to attack downhill. You see the more athletic players of Oregon catching that ball on the elbow and just continuing to attack. Paul White, a simple rip drive, gets to the hole, draws a foul at the line for two.
SMU transfer Harry Froling with his second foul. And Paul White very good at the line for a big. The NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship second round continues tonight. CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For matchups and game times, go to NCAA.com. Maryland, Baltimore County Retrievers will play tonight against Kansas State. How about a 9-16 game in the second round?
Jairus Lyles, a star was born. Simply dominating the team that was the best defense in all of college basketball in UVA, which ran through the ACC. That's what March Madness is all about.
6 to shoot. Again, this kind of run and jump scramble defense by Oregon's working.
But Mitch, you have to finish possessions with rebounds. You're doing the job defensively, forcing tough shots. Finish the possession.
As he airballs that one, Victor Bailey Jr. was all over him. Very effective defensively. Now a turnover. Hey, Oregon and USC, talk about the NIT. They're carrying the Pac-12 flag right now.
It's been tough. You look at the Pac-12 in the NCAA tournament, 3 teams in, 3 teams out within the first weekend. And the biggest surprise to me, obviously, Arizona. Arizona's a team that many people picked to make it to the Final Four. Good guard play, a dominant player inside. Simply did not show up, and Buffalo made them pay the tougher team, the better team for 40 minutes in that contest.
Bailey now giving real close defense, and there's Hauser. And he struggled the other night against Harvard. And he's capable. He had 30 at Butler earlier this year. McIntosh loving these lane ISOs. Held, defended, and did not rebound. Back to your point. Defense without rebounding is no defense at all. That was Bo Ryan's mantra in his coaching career.
Well, Helt did the job. Moved his feet, built the wall, forced a tough shot. Simply mistimed his jump, and McIntosh, just a physical specimen, staying with it, able to draw that foul and knocks down the first of 2.
McIntosh last year with Illinois State, part of a Co-Valley Championship team for Dan Muller. And then his graduate transfer year here for Dana Altman in Oregon. With 23 at USC for the Ducks. Oregon trying to chip back into this one after the Andrew Rousey hailstorm.
Good pass. The movement without the basketball, a simple UCLA dive cut. Frees Howard on the run, and Rousey with a great pinpoint pass for an easy 2.
Again, the winner gets to host Penn State. McIntosh just muscles his way right into the body of Theo John to finish.
That's just big boy school inside. Grown man business. And 22 in green doing the job, muscling his way, creating that angle to finish for 2 points.
Did you hear Theo saying, hey, little help?
A little help now.
Oregon is struggling rebounding, though. And there's help from Sakar Annam. 6 points in his first half for Marquette.
Well, Mitch, rebounding is want to. It's effort, it's energy, it's desire. And right now, Marquette has a little bit more in this first half. But that's a guy that can get going in a hurry, and the Ducks sorely need it. Victor Bailey, we talked about it, 7 3-point makes against Ryder to open the NIT. That's a tiny 3-point shot there.
The Oregon's done a lot better job of sticking to Rousey and Howard. And there is the lift fake. This is the 31st time, get this, the 31st time this year that Andrew Rousey has used that lift fake to get 3 free throws at the line.
And Mitch, I've been wondering when he was going to do it, because he's had guys flying at him all night from that shot fake. And the issue is for the defense, he's such a great shooter, and he's already been cooking here in the first half. There's not much you can do. Contesting isn't enough, but you can't foul a 3-point shooter. But he sells the fake so beautifully. You talk about great free throw shooters. Andrew Rousey, 90% on the year. He's automatic from the foul line as well.
Even worse than a year ago. He was 4th in the nation at 93%. He's the 3rd best free throw shooter in the game because his teammate Howard is the best in the nation at the line. And Creighton's got Elijah Brown, who's 93. But that lift fake, I've mentioned he's Harry Potter. It's like he gets a trance on those guys. Like, stay down from him. Stay away from him. Tough shot. Paul White able to get inside.
Nice job attacking the zone. You attack it right at the Big East logo on the nail in the middle, or you attack the short corners. A good find. White, a tough finish inside.
Sakar Annam.
They're going to count the basket. Marquette continues to play in attack mode. 18-point lead. Annam attacks, gets it on the glass. A little window shopping, a possible and one.
Welcome back to Milwaukee here as Marquette leading 50-32 over Oregon. But here's why the stakes went higher. The winner of this game will now host Penn State. Penn State able to go into Notre Dame and beat the Fighting Irish by 10. Surprised by that. They got Bonzie Colson back. Everybody thought they were going to just run right into Madison Square Garden.
Penn State obviously is not afraid to take the show on the road. They have excellent guard play as well. Tony Carr is one of the best players in the country that not many people know about. Not a household name. He's a guy that can fill it up in a hurry. You can win on the road in postseason play. That's saying something. Great job by the Nittany Lions.
Great job by Sakar Annam for Marquette. He has got 9 in the first half. He had 26 against Dana Altman's old school. He had 26 at Creighton in a win in Omaha with the Blue Jays.
Marquette remaining in this zone, and if you're Oregon, you can't go east and west. At some point, you have to get downhill. Ball touches the middle, get a good look. And the hardest thing to do defensively when you're in a zone is box out and find someone to finish that possession.
Marquette's over the limit. That is the 5th foul of this quarter. And the first foul on Sakar Annam. Now, this is a guy that we thought we would hear from today more than we have. Kenny Wooten, who has been terrific in his freshman year for Oregon. A reminder, the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One continues tonight at 7 and 9 Eastern and 6 Pacific on ESPN with second-round matchups. Notre Dame against Villanova, South Carolina against Virginia. Remember, all the games are streaming live on the ESPN app. Wooten, who's the Jordan Bell clone, 91 blocks coming into the game. That's 3rd in Pac-12 history for freshmen. That's his first point in this game, Jason.
For a freshman to make the all-defensive team, that's a great sign moving forward for Coach Altman. But he's been playing great basketball, partner. You talked about it. Coming into this game, he had a double-double at home against Ryder as well.
Offensive rebounding has been gigantic, too. That's the sneaky stat here for Marquette. That is their 7th offensive board of the half.
And Mitch, the ball hit the floor. There's no reason for that. You have to attack the basketball when the shot goes up.
Right before the shot clock expired, a basket by Theo John. They're going to say here to the attempt by John, get up there in time.
I thought he completed the play with plenty of time. Looked over his shoulder, trying to see if the double's coming. There you see the drop step. The ball's out of his hands right now with 1 tick still on the clock. The basket will count. Great execution by Marquette. Milking time off the clock and getting a high percentage shot. Theo John only averages just under 4 points per game. He's given a great effort and good production here in this first half.
2 high-level recruits out of the Twin Cities for Wojo's team. John in this freshman class, and the redshirt sophomore Sakar Annam played at De La Salle in the Twin Cities. So before the putback, a foul prior to that on Marquette. It's going to be on Jamal Cain as his second.
Attacking the zone, you want to get into the short corner. A nice pass. Brown tries to attack. John with the block. But a blocking foul was called below. Cain in the circle. But you can't leave points on the board when you're playing from a deficit. Down 20 points, the clock is stopped. You have a chance to if you're Oregon, to possibly go into halftime with some momentum, but you have to complete plays at the foul line.
I saw this Wednesday night. The greater good here for Wojo is the fact that his young bigs have now given him 2 straight games of production on both ends of the floor.
Well, defensively, they have been superb, moving their feet, building walls, and finishing plays with great box outs and rebounds. Anything they give you offensively is just an added bonus.
They run Howard off the line. Oh, what a play by Troy Brown to find Bailey. A heck of a play by Troy Brown. A behind-the-back pass of about 50 feet to get a layup for the Oregon Ducks.
You saw the little extra effort there defensively to create that shot. Turnover. Great find in transition. You see here guys flying around, giving extra effort. And how about around the world? Troy Brown finding the lucky lefty, Victor Bailey, in transition. Big time finish. You put together consecutive plays where you put points on the board, but if you're Oregon, you have to defend now without fouling.
Oregon over the limit. Meaning Elliott gets 2 shots. Again, there's no 1-on-1 with these rules experiments. Very similar to the women's game. And more upsets in the NCAA tournament as we scores compiling in here. Elliott. Good get for Wojo out of Detroit. He's got 6. He's got 6. Annam has 9. Theo John with 4. Kane with 3. Those are all bonus points for Marquette in this game. Wow, again Marquette defends the rim, but a foul. And Coach Wojciechowski does not like it. Annam's got his 2nd foul. That's the only problem Marquette has now. 5, 6 different guys with 2 fouls apiece.
Coach Wojo looking down the bench trying to figure out which big he can put into this contest.
So he puts in Howard.
He puts in a smaller player. Going to go small here, a little offense defense possibly. Kane goes to the bench.
He doesn't have that many choices, really. And here comes Hauser. Again, they're kind of picking and choosing his minutes because of his hip injury.
But if you have that type of injury, you cannot sit on that bench for any extended period of time. You'll tighten up, stiffen up, and then you simply will not be able to play anymore. So that's the reason you see the continuous shuffling, getting Hauser in, getting him out for a quick breather, but he has to remain active if he's going to compete in this game.
Another tough kid from the state of Wisconsin out of Stevens Point. A 2.5 differential here in this 2nd quarter. What a half for Marquette. Andrew Rousey, 22 points, 16 in the 1st quarter. Hauser.
So tough to defend an empty ball screen with a guy that has 22 points to Hauser, who's gutting it out, leaving everything on the floor, and knocks down the 3-ball corner pocket to end this 1st half.
And Oregon down by 20. Marquette still tracking 120 as a huge half from Andrew Rousey with 22, and the Golden Eagles in command here at halftime. On the other side of the break, we'll take a look at all of today's women's basketball action in the NCAA tournament. Round game. Marquette hosting the Oregon men. By the way, both of their women's teams involved today. In fact, the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One continues tonight at 8:30 and 10:30 Eastern, 5:30 and 7:30 Pacific, right here on ESPN2 with 2 more 2nd round matchups. Now, the Oregon women, they will host the Minnesota Gophers tonight at Matthew Knight Arena. Sabrina Ionescu, the Pac-12 Player of the Year for the Ducks, had a triple-double in her first game against Seattle in round 1. And the Ducks will try to beat Minnesota tonight and advance. Again, that's at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN2, 7:30 Pacific. And Marquette's women eliminated earlier today. In fact, they played this morning, and they played at the University of Louisville. Marquette had a round 1 victory, but then lose to Louisville. Good year for the Marquette women. They got to the finals of the Big East postseason championship, lost to DePaul, had a first-round victory, and then lose to the U of L Cardinals. Again, that's Oregon's women. They'll play tonight on ESPN2 as well. We'll have highlights and stats of the first half and Jason Capel's thoughts as Oregon, the high-scoring Golden Eagles, a 58-point first half to lead Oregon by 20. Duggar Baucham's a longtime coach at the Citadel and VMI. He's normal. The 58. That's the first 58-point half I've seen this year.
Well, absolutely high-octane offense, but it began with the defense of Marquette doing the job on both ends. And when you get stops, finish with rebounds, it allows you to attack early offensively. And the Golden Eagles, 10 3-point shots. Rousey knocked down 6 himself, but other guys have stepped up as well. Great ball movement, 11 assists in the first half. And how about the spin cycle there from number 30 in blue, Andrew Rousey. He has been the star of that half. And if you're Marquette, you can't take your foot off the gas pedal. You must continue to attack, more importantly, defend. And Oregon, show some fight. Draw a line in the sand, do the job defensively, and slowly chip away at this lead.
Here's a look at the numbers. Marquette 57%, including 10 threes. They don't miss free throws. Oregon shot 10 more free throws and trails by 20. But the points off turnovers, that and fast break points jump off the screen.
Can't start the half if you're Oregon with a turnover. McIntosh got double. If he delivers that basketball, it's an easy 2 points inside for Paul White. It has to be energy in this first 4 minutes of the third quarter from the Ducks to ensure they have a chance to possibly come back in this ballgame.
In the Ducks last year, their Final Four run, terrific year, and all those pros now in the league, and they got 23 wins. They played really good since February 1. But today, they are looking down the barrel of this Marquette team, and Howard's got 11 to go with Rousey's 22. I mean, for Marquette, it just keeps coming. Oregon needs all of these. Paul White's 35 from out there. It's his 31st make.
And again, there's no magic formula. It's hard work, execution, and defense has to step up and make plays. Paul White has been a bright spot. He's working inside and there, steps out, knocking down a 3-point shot. Good pass.
Held.
Just surgical offensively. The guards of Marquette draw so much attention that the bigs simply have to screen, roll, be ready to catch, receive, and finish.
And Brown again trying to get something in the lane. It's on Howard. That is his third.
Marcus Howard attacks the ball screen. White has to stay a step too long. Beautiful pocket pass. All Help has to do is catch and get the ball to the rim.
Yeah, this was going on the other night. This is the lacrosse team from Marquette. I think they're taking it. Oregon's used to this.
Yeah.
Because of Arizona
State.
Yeah, the curtain of
chaos.
Chaos or uncertainty, whatever. This is
rock,
the
paper, scissors.
It worked in the second one. Tie up. The arrow belongs to Marquette. Yeah, this is the lacrosse team from Marquette, and they have been very creative. They were the other night against Harvard. And you got to be really good to try to outthink Harvard and play mental games on those guys.
That's the luxury of playing here at the Owl. It's more intimate. The student section can be right on top of you. An imposing place to try to come in and play postseason basketball. It's obviously been an advantage for the Golden Eagles these 2 games.
Well, they're moving into the Starship Enterprise next year, though. They and the Milwaukee Bucks, a brand new facility near the Bradley Center downtown. There's been a lot of loose balls in the lane Oregon just can't get. It's like this. This is off Rousey, but
the Ducks got away with one there. Rousey had his arm pulled, or he would have come up with that loose ball. You see White just unable to finish. McIntosh grabs the arm of Rousey. Nonetheless, a stop for the Ducks and an opportunity to pull a bit closer.
White able to have a good third quarter. He's got 5 of the 6 Oregon points in this quarter. And here's the thing, Jason, with these rule changes in the NIT, or the rule experiment, I should say, you can't wait too long to make your comeback.
Have to attack, and White recognizes he's not being doubled, showing great patience and finishing well inside. Marquette against a short shot clock now, and the defense has really stepped up for the Oregon Ducks to begin this third quarter.
McIntosh goes right after Hauser, and a great job defensively. And McIntosh frustrated with Hauser's defense. Little wrestling going on. The second foul on Mikhail McIntosh.
I'm impressed with Hauser. He took the hit, continues to fight, and he's not backing down. This is a tough kid, playing through a hip injury he's had all year, giving everything he has. Right now, he's a point forward. Does all the little things that helps you get to the winner's circle, but his greatest attribute, his toughness, and his fingerprints are all over this ballgame.
And we've seen so many of these Wisconsin in-state kids, whether Green Bay or UW-Milwaukee or University of Wisconsin or here, Travis Deaners, those kind of guys, just so tough. And now McIntosh has suddenly got his 3rd foul, and Dana Altman has that problem to deal with, as well as trailing by 19.
After that last play, you saw Hauser try to spin away. He's limping a little bit right in front of us. Have to keep an eye on it. Coach Wojciechowski has done the job of getting him in and out, trying to keep him fresh.
He took a pretty good hit, though, on the other end.
Absolutely.
Here from McIntosh.
No question. You can see he just doesn't have the burst to create separation.
Illegal screen help. Problems foul-wise. It's the only problem now Marquette has, and what Hauser's wanting to come out of the game. He might be done for the day.
The combination of the contact with McIntosh defensively, and then right in front of the Marquette bench, trying to spin away, just unable to move. And when that ball swung to him from the pick and pop, you could see he could not get away from the defender. That hip seems to really be bothering him now.
Oregon, Pritchard missing the layup. That ain't missed by Kane.
What a pass. Rousey looking to the corner to his left, floats it up high, and Kane goes up to throw it down.
4-point swing, the missed layup by Pritchard. And the throwdown on the other end.
Marquette attacking Rousey, the look-away pass. That's a lot of sauce right there. And Kane flies in to catch the corral, emphatically sends it in.
And Elijah Brown has yet to score in this game. He averages 14 for the Ducks, and Annam's got his 3rd foul. Now these fouls, personal fouls, mounting for the Golden Eagles.
You can see the mandate for the Oregon Ducks. Continue to attack, possibly getting in the bonus. And now you stop the clock with the ability to make free throws and fall back into this game.
Elliott. Count it. They're going to say, yes, they will count it. They talked about it long enough.
And Andrew Rousey, the senior transfer, has the Owl on their feet, going to every section like a WWE wrestler hyping up the crowd. And Elliott, great concentration. His chin is up, so his eyes are focused on the rim. Don't flex on him, young fella.
Yeah, you might like Conor McGregor as you're going to the...
Absolutely. The Conor McGregor roll.
24-point lead for Marquette. They have been almost flawless. Brown goes right after Annam. That's his first 2 of the game. And Jason, he's a high-volume scorer. He had 30 against Arizona. He is the son of former Cavalier head coach Mike Brown, who's now with Golden State in the front office.
And it came from the defense by the Ducks. But it's been all Marquette throughout this game. A little showtime. Throw it up high. Go get it. Throw it down and then through the contact. Finish the flex. Big-time play.
Marquette still bombs away. They lead it here 68-46. Rousey with 22, but he hadn't scored in the third quarter. Now here's the rules experiments in the NIT. Jason, wider lane, deep for 3. How much could this be a regular part of the NCAA men's game?
Well, I think it should be. The 4 quarters, that's played at every level of basketball other than the NCAA right now. I love the widening of the lane. It gives you more space and movement to get the ball inside, but also driving lines. And obviously the extended 3-point line is of no factor, as we've already seen here in this contest. But the foul differential is the key. You're looking now, Oregon already in the bonus, and instead of being 1-1, it would be 2 shots.
Well, that slip play is just killing Oregon here in this third quarter, and it's going to be 2 shots for Theo John. You and I were talking. That's the 4th foul on Paul White. He's been kind of leading the way for Oregon to try to keep him within the stratosphere of Marquette. I want to ask you about the foul rule. We come back after this first shot and remind you of what's coming up on the ESPN family of networks as John gets this one. A reminder, catch every moment of the 2018 NCAA Women's Championship on the ESPN family of networks. For more information, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. To take the 1-and-1 out of the game takes some of the mystery and intrigue out of it. It's no 1-and-1 here. It's double-double if you go over the limit of 5 fouls in a quarter. Not sure I like that.
I agree wholeheartedly. The 1-and-1 leaves so much to be determined. You can either extend leads, put games away, or leave it the door open if you miss the front end of that 1-and-1. Not a big fan of that rule, but I like the way Oregon attacked the zone that possession. McIntosh is a guy that loves to catch it, foul line area, drop his shoulder and attack. But we're in for a treat now. At the foul line again, we have a tug-of-war going on between some little ladies, beautiful fans up top, and the lacrosse team. They're having some fun here at the Owl this afternoon.
The Marquette students getting, particularly the lacrosse team, really getting creative. There we go, tug of war, and McIntosh stays focused. He's got 12, right at his scoring average. And Oregon goes to a more trapping press. Now let's be honest. Trying to get the clock right here at 4:23 to go in the third quarter. When Harvard went to a full court press,
yes,
Marquette struggled. In fact, they had to kind of slide into third base to win that game. So we'll see how they handle it here. As Matt Morales trying to get the clock right. All right, here we go. 2 1s are gone now in the 2 different brackets. Notre Dame, kaput. Penn State got rid of them. And how about Mississippi State going in and beating Baylor at Waco?
Great job, survive and advance. That's what it's about this time of year. And the Bulldogs, a 1-point victory in a tough place to play. But I'm looking down at the bottom of this bracket. Middle Tennessee State, a team that I thought should have been in the NCAA tournament as an at-large Conference USA's regular season champion. Talk about Nick King and Giddy Potts, two excellent players. And the Louisville Cardinals are a team, they have size, Ray Spalding up front, Mahmoud, but they're led by Dangadale on the wing and Quentin Snyder, an excellent senior point guard. That should be an entertaining ball game. Two excellent defenses.
And here's a turnover by Marquette in the backcourt. Again, this was a problem against Harvard, and Wooten has his first field goal of the game. The outstanding freshman for Oregon.
Wooten went up to about 12 feet to finish that play, and the press partner, you said it. We saw this against Harvard, and the Ducks putting Wooten and his athleticism on the basketball. Difficult for Rousey to see an outlet. 5-second call. Coach Wojciechowski bringing in some veteran players. You get it to the coffin corner, you have to be strong. Look up the floor, not back. A steal leads to an emphatic dunk by Wooten inside.
McIntosh is going to the line, and this is the fourth foul on Matt Helt. And he's had 3 of those on those middle ISOs, just trying to plant the flag there and defend the rim.
In the first half, you saw assistant coach Brett Nelson from Marquette telling his team to send McIntosh to his left hand. Well, he's gone left the last 2 possessions, proving he can go either direction from that isolation. But you have to make free throws. You're down 20 points, just under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. You can't leave points on the table. You have to get every one you possibly can.
That was the only miss McIntosh has had at the line as he comes back and splits the pair to go 7 out of 8. Now Rousey was inbounding, so Bojo makes an adjustment to put Hauser back into the game and have him maybe a taller inbounder.
More size, he can see over top. As he described him, the best passer, the brain of this team. Coach Wojo trusts Hauser to make the correct decisions no matter what defense the opposition is in.
I honestly thought we wouldn't see Hauser again.
Good pass.
Big time rejection by Kenny Wooten.
Number 92 now. The young fella. He's a jumping jack, has springs in those Nikes, going up to send it away.
McIntosh can't finish against the defense. Wooten had 7 blocks against Washington in a game earlier this year and 6 in 2 other games. Howard changing hands, and he'll go to the line.
You run these guys off the three-point line, you have to understand, especially Howard, a crafty scorer. Look at the curl, gets downhill, recognizes Wooten is coming from the help side. Switches to that left hand, a nice little fillet off the glass. Through the contact, opportunity for 3.
He draws contact as good as anybody I've seen. He'll go find the defender to create the contact to get this 3-point play. He's like a bug light. The lift fake from Rousey and his ability to get contact to get 3-point plays at the rim.
You're shocked when he misses a free throw. Only his 7th now on the season. 102 out of 109. I can't believe he left that one a bit short.
Tied for the best in the nation, and there is Wooten starting to emerge here. And Oregon needs all of his game.
Marquette has to look up the floor in that press. There are 3 green jerseys in the backcourt. You enter the basketball, you have to look up, look to pitch ahead, and get opportunities.
And Marcus Howard somewhere over the rainbow hits that 3. That is 8 in this quarter for Marcus Howard.
In the first half, it was Andrew Rousey. And the tag team champions in this game are taking turns.
And they're just trying to get Froling to give him some minutes for Marquette, and he's got his 3rd foul. Well, how good is this?
Well, you can't go under a screen. And there can be no negotiation at the point of the screen. Bailey's a freshman, but he has to understand you must fight over the top, lock and trail, and force these guys off the 3-point line.
You can hear the Oregon defenders go, but coach, he's at the hash mark.
He's in the gym. I watched Marcus Howard in pregame. 3 hours before anyone else stepped foot on this floor, draining three-point shots from every spot, all 5 spots on both ends. He works at it. That's why he's able to produce when the lights are on and the popcorn's popping.
Oregon in the press now fouls over the limit in the third quarter. And that will send 91% foul shooter Andrew Rousey to the line as Wooten has his second personal foul. They were working on their press break this morning a lot. They didn't have a real long walkthrough, but they were going over a bunch of different press breakers. And now Rousey misses a free throw. Rivers are running backwards. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One continues tonight at 8:30 and 10:30 Eastern, 5:30, 7:30 Pacific. It includes Oregon. The Ducks on the women's side take on Minnesota tonight. Sabrina Ionescu, the Pac-12 Player of the Year, will be featured tonight on ESPN2, and all the games are streaming live on the ESPN app. They're having a hard time defending McIntosh without fouling. We got a long way to go here, and Marquette is really fighting some problems, and this is 4 fouls on Marcus Howard now.
And just when he was beginning to find his flow on the offensive end, but you have to give Oregon a lot of credit. These guys are finding the sweet spot. McIntosh living at the foul line, but you must convert. Trailing by 21 points, and you can't trade baskets. This is a young team that Dana Altman has led to 23 wins. You're on the road in a tough environment. What he wants to see right now is simply his team fight, compete, and play hard for the remaining minutes in this ballgame.
12 free throws attempted by McIntosh, 10 made for 16 points. And you don't want to put Hauser at the line either. Wooten's got his third foul. Partner, we got a ways to go here now. We got 11:54 left in the game when you add the 10 fourth quarter minutes. We ain't going to have everybody here to end this game. A lot of fouls spread around. And Wooten, the really good freshman, already has the Oregon single season record for field goal shooting percentage. And the sophomore for Marquette, Hauser's got 2 free throws down. Oregon trying to get chipping into this lead and can't. And there's a follow by Keith Smith off the bench for Oregon. And Smith a little bump and run, and that's going to send Rousey right back to the nail.
Coach Dana Altman can do nothing other than keel over to his knees. He wants his team to pick up the pressure, cause a bit of chaos, but you can't continue to allow these elite free throw shooters, even though we've seen Rousey and Howard miss a pair, you can't continue to send these guys to the line where they are typically automatic in any contest. You must defend without fouling.
Ask LSU. Rousey was 16 of 16 against LSU at the line. 25 for Andrew Rousey. Keep in mind he had 16 at the end of the first quarter. Pritchard, the ball off his foot, and Shakar Annam in double figures with 11.
It's just been one of those afternoons. Live ball turnovers lead to easy opportunities. 26 points for the Golden Eagles off of the turnovers by the Ducks.
Again, and that's an anomaly because he's second in the nation, Hauser, in three-point shooting percentage, only behind Connor Birchfield of William & Mary. So the hip affecting that shot. And Bailey, who hasn't scored in a while, finally gets to the rack.
Great drive by Bailey. He's a left-hander that wants to drive left. You cannot give up middle penetration. Mitch, what Marquette cannot do is allow the defense right now of Oregon to speed them up and take quick shots. You have to execute offensively. Don't allow this pace to take you out of what has allowed you to build this 22-point lead.
Well, Marquette, to stay on their pace to get 120, needs 8 more points. They had 30 at the end of the first quarter, 58 at half.
A little curly kneel action by Andrew Rousey. Typically, you do not want to dribble through a double team, but he's so low to the ground, breaks it, throws up high for the lob. What a great answer by Troy Brown to finish the third quarter.
Rousey tricked him, thinking he was going to lose the ball. I'm going to lose it. No, I'm not. Here comes Theo John. Wojo's got to love it. His team has done little wrong. Take your eyes at the optometrist. Go right to the bottom of the page. There's your story.
Absolutely. You look at points off turnovers and directly fast break points. They go hand in hand. If you're Oregon, you're on the road in a tough environment. You're shooting 51%. Your offense, when you haven't turned the ball over, has done a pretty good job. You've lived at the foul line, 28 attempts. But you can't allow a team to shoot 60% and hand deliver them free opportunities on the break.
Bailey, strong curl. Nice pull up by Bailey. He's in double figures with 11. Again, he had that 23-point game and 7 threes against Ryder in round 1.
Mitch, you can see the young talent that Coach Altman is amassing to reload. Not going to say rebuild because they won 23 games this season. Continuing to reload. You've seen Wooten, you've seen Bailey. Don't look now, but the Ducks have one of the top recruiting classes in all of college basketball on the way. It's going to step in and produce right away.
And I'm not sure a team in the country lost as much as Oregon lost from that Final Four team. Dylan Brooks, Jordan Bell, Tyler Dorsey. 2 to shoot here from Marquette. Those guys all playing in the league. In fact, Brooks last night at 24 for the Grizzlies. Even Boucher, he's playing with Golden State now some. So that Duck team of a year ago that got to the Final Four lost your alma mater by 1 in the national semifinals. So you knew this year was going to be a transition year. So far today, Marquette, nothing about transition for them.
Talking about the young players of Oregon, Theo John has had an excellent game as well. An enforcer inside showing what his offense will continue to build and be. And you don't have to worry about the offense developing for Marcus Howard. Much more than just a shooter, a crafty scorer at all 3 levels. They're attacking downhill for an up and under.
Marcus Howard just had the cone drill, except the cones were painted green. And Annam almost had an and one. Okay, here we go. Basketball camp, cone drill, Marcus Howard.
When you're an elite guard, you have great vision. You see there the head and shoulders fake. Bailey takes it. Some Olay action from the green jerseys. And Howard just marches to his own beat right down the lane for an easy 2. And I call these guys the tag team champions. And they've taken turns from one half to the next. And now they're going to be reunited on the floor together.
Here's the thing, though, for Marquette, and I've said the NIT many times, it's like a college bowl game in football. It's as much about your next year as it is completing this year. And the point is, these bigs for Marquette, these young bigs, including Sakar Annam, have had now 2 games in a row because they did a really good job against Harvard on Wednesday night.
You have practice time, time to continue to develop. And for the coaches, as you said, partner, you're building, trying to win a championship now, but you're also looking to the future, trying to develop players continuing to develop a mindset and a culture if you're Coach Wojciechowski. So far in these 2 contests, they're passing the test with flying colors.
In a real-life laboratory. Dorsey rarely gets one that close, but he'll take it. He's got 27. If you want to email McIntosh, send it to the foul line because he's going back again. He is closing in on his career high in free throw attempts.
He's simply dropping that inside shoulder and daring whoever is in front of him to stand up to the challenge. 11 for 13 now. And the Ducks offensively continue to fight. But on the defensive end is where they have to dig their heels in. May not come back in this game. A big lead with only 7.5 to go. But you can continue to build and show great pride in this program by fighting into the final buzzer.
OJ was working on attacking on press break this morning, but now things change with this big lead, do they not? Nice pass as McIntosh. He just wanted to go back to the line again. McIntosh is closing in on 20 free throw attempts, but Oregon needs all of them. Dana Altman's had better days. He was the Big 8 Coach of the Year when he was at Kansas State. Prior to that, he was Coach of the Year at Marshall. Congratulations to Marshall. And then he rebuilt what Creighton has become. Greg McDermott's done a great job, but he built Creighton into a national power attendance-wise, and what he's done here at Oregon. Elite Eights, last year going to the Final Four, an amazing victory over Kansas, the Sprint Center in Kansas City last year. It's one of the best game plans and executions of a game plan that I've ever seen. And look at this list, Jason. He's got 21 consecutive winning seasons. Look at the 5 ahead of him all in the Hall of Fame.
Well, he's surrounded and in company with royalty when you talk about basketball. Hall of Famers and Coach Altman, all he does is win. At every level, Coach of the Year, every stop. And he, too, one day will find himself enshrined with those other great coaches. And this was supposed to be a rebuild year. Yet another 20-win season, 8 straight 20-win seasons by Coach Altman. And we talked about the young players flourishing this year for the Ducks. But help is well on the way. The #3 recruiting class in the country. And Bol Bol, the son of Manute Bol, a big guy that can shoot threes, very agile, explosive, a special player. It's going to be a fun year in Eugene for Duck fans.
And they only lose their 2 graduate transfers, really. Malcolm McIntosh from Illinois State and Brown from New Mexico actually started at Butler as well. But still down 20 with 6:21 to go. It has been this guy also in overall wins. It is interesting. We'll get to that in a second, but a reminder that SportsCenter tonight after the NCAA Women's Tournament on ESPN with John Anderson, Kevin Connors. Rockets Timberwolves wrap up. Let you know if Houston has extended their lead in the West. Tom Rinaldi and Andy North preview Tigers' road to the Masters. And then which Cinderella has the best shot to move on to the Elite Eight? You got plenty of choices. SportsCenter 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. The Retrievers of Maryland-Baltimore County against Kansas State tonight. Dana Altman, Coach of the Year, as we showed you at Kansas State, is really where 3 careers took off. We'll get to that in a second. And it happened 30 years ago next week. Here, though, the present has Oregon down 20 and Marquette handling things at 6:13 to go in the game. And a foul. Actually, Elijah Brown. All right, let's go back now to 30 years ago next week. K-State made a run to the Elite Eight. It set up 3 careers, 3 Hall of Fame careers for 3 different guys.
Well, Lon Kruger, you look, the head coach at Kansas State, he hires Dana Altman, so he's under that tree. And they recruit Mitch Richmond, who's a Hall of Fame player and now on the bench at St. John's with Chris Mullins. So 3 what will be Hall of Fame careers were launched, as you said, partner, 30 years ago next week. And what a joy for Dana Altman with his last win. He went a game past in the win column of Lon Kruger. A great coaching tree, a great career, a program builder that the Oregon Ducks have to continue to move their culture forward into the future.
Tough, smart, great recruiter, a great preparer. Goes all the way back to his days in Wilbur, Nebraska. Played for Gary Bargan at then Fairbury Community College. But he had Mitch Richmond at Moberly Junior College, along with some other players. And K-State instantly became an item with Lon Kruger and Dana Altman and Mitch Richmond. Look at the 620 again, passing Lon Kruger, all-time wins.
That's a lot of wins. And what he's done at Oregon, we talk about the Final Four a season ago, and good times are ahead because we've seen the young talent on display only going to get better. And one of the best recruiting classes of all of college basketball on the way to UVA. It's going to be very exciting, not only in the Pac-12, but in all of the country to watch next season.
Oregon still down 18, and we're under 5 to go.
But Mitch, what you love is the fact that the Ducks continue to play, continue to fight. They haven't been perfect by a long shot, but you see right there, shooting the passing lane, Paul White knocks it away. We've seen crazier things happen throughout this year. What a move. McIntosh unable to finish.
But Marquette throws it away, and Howard and Wojo's thinking, we're up 18. Just going to remind you.
He's thinking, I'm calling timeout, and we're going to put a stop to this right now because he saw a lead evaporate quickly in the last contest against Harvard. And you can see how red he's getting, how fired up he is. He was this way as a player, and he breathes that same energy and passion into this program, telling them you have to take care of the basketball, finish the game the way you started it, together, connected, playing the right way.
7-0 Oregon run. All right, the stakes went up again, and here's why. Notre Dame gets upset, so the winner of this game hosts. They'll host Penn State, who has been this year's Northwestern story really in the Big Ten of the way they've climbed. But then Mississippi State took out another #1 as they took out Baylor today in Waco. And then tonight's game very intriguing with Middle Tennessee, the Blue Raiders, and the University of Louisville. If Middle Tennessee State wins and hosts Mississippi State,
how about that? Middle Tennessee State's head coach, the great Kermit Davis, will take over at Ole Miss. He was a player at Mississippi State, so you're right, could be very intriguing moving forward if the Blue Raiders make that trip to Starkville.
Sakar Anim is gone. He is disqualified from the game, the first Golden Eagle to be walked off here at 4:17 to go in the game. But Anim will set down with 12 points and 6 rebounds. Heck of an effort. Redshirted last year. The big game against Creighton, a win in Omaha by Marquette. And I thought Oregon would get more today out of Kenny Woot. They had a double-double against Ryder in the NIT's first round in Eugene. Today, just 6 points.
I think a big reason the game got going so quickly with Marquette throwing a haymaker to begin, and they have not stopped punching. That's what they have to do now in the last 4 minutes. You want to continue to attack, but you want to run clock and play smart as well.
An offensive foul on Howard, and that is his 5th foul. The casualty list grows for Marquette, and there's still 3:56 to go. They not only lose his scoring, they lose his free throw prowess, the best in the nation, and they lose his press breaking ability.
They lose another ball handler that has great experience. And now you have two freshmen on the floor that has to face this pressure along with Andrew Rousey and the ball handling responsibilities for Marquette.
We saw this coming about 6 game minutes ago that Marquette was in trouble foul-wise. And now Oregon start to getting something done here. This is as close as they've been in a long time.
And with each make, the Ducks can set up their pressure. And you're looking at what's on the floor right now for Marquette as the crowd sarcastically applauds the foul being called. Hauser isn't 100%. Elliott, number 5 in blue, is limping his way on the floor. You're Steve Wojciechowski. You want to just finish this game with as many active and healthy bodies as you possibly can.
And people are going, well, wait a minute, they're not shooting free throws? No, it resets at the quarter. So here's the other side of it. Normally this late, you'd be shooting free throws, and it's just had to wait a second because now Rousey's going to the line. But at 3:27, you're usually in the first or second bonus under the other rules. This rules experimentation, it is 5 fouls in a quarter to get over the limit. And Rousey's got there now.
And of all the rules, that's the one that if I have an issue with, that's it. I don't think you can punish a team that continues to attack, that's earned the right to be in the bonus. Say if it's 7 minutes to go and they can shoot 2 for the rest of the half, well, they've earned that right. That allows them to pull away if they make the free throws to pull the game away in their favor. Right now with the reset, you get a do-over each 10 minutes to possibly find your way back in this ballgame if you were.
29 for Andrew Rousey. But he had 16 at the end of the first quarter, and finally Pritchard hits a 3. Jason, that's his first point since the first 7 points he had for Oregon, which were the first 7 Duck points of the game.
He's had his hands full chasing around Rousey and Howard throughout this game. That's a tall task, and when you put on top of it the Ducks needing him to score the basketball as well. Tough assignment for the sophomore.
4 to shoot. Big shot. Matt Helt goes right shoulder, left hand.
That's when you're living right there.
Elijah Brown lives right with his first 3-point make of the game. He had 7 threes against Arizona earlier this year. Does Oregon have anything left? Oregon is down 13, but look what it was. They have a 16-4 run over the past 5 minutes to get it to 13. And Marcus Howard is fouled out for Marquette, one of their stud guards. And now Marquette throws it away. I'm telling you, this is a redo of what happened Wednesday night when Harvard had 24th quarter points to make Wojo this nervous.
And nervous he is, doing a little tap dance on the sideline. And you can see the great ball movement and Pritchard knocking down a long-range shot, then the kick to the corner, the baseline drift. Brown knocks it in. 16-4 run, and you have 2 freshmen on the floor handling the basketball against this pressure from Marquette.
So Oregon got a finger on that pass, or it would have been a turnover. Now it's 10 to shoot. Oregon's got to defend without fouling, particularly with Rousey out here.
If you're Oregon, you have to contest this shot or just get a steal. The chance to get out and run. The English there. Pritchard.
11-point game, an 18-4 Oregon run.
And the only person they trust with the basketball is Rousey. And the Ducks are trapping him and smart enough not to foul him. They want these freshmen to have to prove they can handle this pressure and handle the defensive intensity now coming down the stretch.
Wojo's used it, well, that last timeout for Marquette.
And just a lazy pass by Rousey. Pritchard, great job deflecting it, getting downhill. Goes up high, great concentration, uses the rim to shield from the defense. The English on the basketball finds his home at the bottom of the net. 1:41 to go in this contest. And partner, we've seen stranger things happen all year. You think back to what the Virginia Cavaliers were able to do at Louisville. They scored 4 points in 0.9 seconds. We've seen things happen. Oregon Ducks showing a lot of fight in this contest. And what's on the line is a date against Penn State. Either team that finishes this game in the winner's circle will host that contest. You're Marquette. You have to do the job taking care of the basketball on the inbound right now. Run some time, but you must value the ball here down the stretch.
Oregon has had a page of close losses. They've also had some very good wins. I mean, they have outscored. They were down 25 just 7.5 game minutes ago. So Pritchard here has got to try to defend without fouling Rousey. Can't get the board. And that has been the story of the game, really, honestly, is 8 offensive rebounds. Make that 9 for Marquette, and Kane with a stick back. But Marquette fouling continues to be a problem. If it's on Helt, he's gone. That is the 3rd Golden Eagle to be disqualified from the game as he fouls out along with Marcus Howard and Sakar Annam.
Helt did an excellent job. 9 points, 7 points, 5 rebounds. And he was the one that tipped that rebound to a teammate that created the last 2 points.
3 are out, 3 with 3, and they are over the limit. So Pritchard's going to get 2 here. Pritchard, who is 7 of 11, a career high 11 free throw attempts against Ryder in round 1, has done everything at the alpha and omega of this game. He had 7 in the first quarter, the first 7 Duck points of the game. His last 6 have all been in this quarter. Still on in Milwaukee.
Again, a tough pass. You have to be smarter than that. You get lucky, able to finish in transition. But you just simply have to be better if you're Marquette moving forward. But a nice job by Kane moving his feet, claiming that area, drawing the charge on Pritchard. This is a big defending a guard. And though his inside arm was down and possibly on the hip of Pritchard, he moved his feet, he commanded that spot, and as an offensive player, you cannot drop that shoulder and just bull your way over a defender.
Another press break, another opportunity for Marquette. Okay, Marquette now, look at this. The high they've ever had in the NIT, and again, this is their 16th tournament, was that year. They won the NIT that year. Al McGuire decided not to go to the NCAA tournament. He was an independent. They're going to ship him to Texas. He said, forget it. I'm going to the Garden. Dean the Dream Meminger, and they win the title. Now, here's why that's tying into today. If Elliott hits this point, and it's 101 points, it will be the most in an NIT game for Marquette since that year. 1970 against Pistol Pete Maravich and LSU.
Wow.
They had 101 points in 1970.
You're going to beat a team with Pistol Pete, you better score 101 points.
They beat Julius Erving and UMass in the first game.
Absolutely. A little poetic justice that these games are taking place in the Al McGuire Center. It's been a great home court, but Hauser, another costly turnover, and is compounded with a foul, stopping the clock. You talked about McIntosh taking up residence at the foul line. He's marching right back home now for another opportunity for two.
Just when Marquette wants to close the door, Oregon sticks their foot in the door and keeps it open. They can score here without the clock moving. Okay, going back in history, this is that 70 team. You know, Marquette, Oregon, you never know what jersey Oregon's going to be.
Check out those uniforms.
They were the first. Al McGuire was the first to bring out the crazy unis. And Dean the Dream Meminger. It is an 11-point game at 32 seconds. And Marquette looks like they're going to host Penn State here. And a chance to go to Madison Square Garden. And the guy with the ball started everything. Jason, a 16-point first quarter set the tone for Marquette's victory.
Well, a dominant performance by the Golden Eagles. We talked about Rousey getting the job done offensively, but it was the defense in this game of Marquette that really set the tone in this contest.
Steve Wojciechowski's team is moving on. They're going to host Penn State 101-92 Marquette. That wraps it up for Marquette. Now more NIT action. Middle Tennessee takes on Louisville.